Here we are.
Woo! I know you gotta love it. Good morning, everyone. This is one of the great classics. Dan, were you born in this time?
I don't think so.
I think you're gonna know this all around. Here we go.
One of number one wedding songs around, right?
I know. That was. I could listen to that song all the time. Wow. Especially at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Holy, get us going early today.
I know. Hey, good morning, everyone. We are live. Woo! Oh, look at Steve. He's already on. We are live with Dan Mastropolo of the Super Staffing Store, the CSO, and Richard. I'm going to give it to the shark. Here he goes.
Well, hey, Dan. Good morning, buddy, and welcome to the show, man. Glad to have you part of our Staffing Shark Week. We're going to, like I always say, deep dive into it, man. So just tell us a little about what's going on, some of the new stuff, and then we'll just go from there.
Yeah, no, I super appreciate you guys having me on today. So like David said, man, I'm Dan with the Staffing Superstore. I'm our chief sales officer. Basically, Staffing Superstore is literally the largest A to Z supplier in the staffing industry. We have about 80 clients. We support about 1,000 brick and mortar locations across the U.S. We have everything under one roof. So our main objective in the market right now is just to help all the independent owners out, and take all the burdens of what we deal with on the day-to-day, off their plate. So, literally on our e-commerce website, which you guys see streaming at the bottom, go there, get your promotional items, PPE, office supplies, anything that you guys need to basically fuel the offices. We also have a payroll and PEO company. So, we're one of the only PEOs in the country that can ensure startup staffing. And under our leadership group, we have about 75 years executive leadership. Out of one of the big three, who my two other partners, they were in, more of the day labor world for about 17 years. So, we just understand it. We get it. We've lived it. We've, touch it all day, every day. And then, we also have a back office support company. So, with the back office piece, we literally take pretty much everything off of the owner responsibility. We can do domains, business setup, hosting, all the way through balance statement, income statement, P&L, K1s, tax preparation. So, we have some really strong strategic partnerships, completely insured to all, 48 out of 50 states, and just once again, it takes that burden off so you guys can stay focused on what's important, which is grow the business, stay connected to the customer, and go get the candidates, which is the hard part, right?
I know, right? Jeez. No, and I told Dan, that I utilize Dan, so I can really, he's the back office for us, and it's great work with him because the experience, Richard. This is where trust comes in, where I tell you, I have never met Dan. I know, but we've been with LinkedIn and everything like that. I trust, just like you. I've gone through the growth, and he's helped me. I can't even tell you, and I appreciate so much. He's spent a lot of time with me, and this is who I utilize. And for the people in the Lehigh Valley here, when I say about the Superstore, listen, I know the cost of everything. When you go on that website, I'm telling you, if you're in logistics around this area, anywhere, you'd be so surprised on the drug screening, everything you need. You're going to save this. Oh, yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool, man. Our warehouse is right out of St. Louis, and so we have 2-day shipping. Any $250 or more. Anything can be pretty much logoed, branded for basically $1 extra of whatever you see on the website. We sell down to the individual item at wholesale price. So, even on those quick turnaround times, we pretty much cover 2/3 of the country in 2-day shipping or less, pretty much. So, it's our team, like I said, we just really enjoy it. Work with a ton of startups, people just getting going, and being able to watch that stuff go from, conception, through that first, 2-3 year growth is just a lot of fun for us. We really enjoy it.
Oh, that's amazing. You know what's nice about it, Dan, is like people like me, it's a startup company, or also Dave, we don't have to worry anymore. We have you. You have everything, like you said, A to Z. From clothing to the solution. It's amazing.
That's what I like, and it just makes it easier for everybody. It makes it easier. Mm-hmm. And Dan, I had to ask this.
Sure.
This was the most interesting thing that I know, the smile. And Richard, when I saw this, because I staffed for 2 people at iCor in the beginning, they were the first company around here for taking the temperatures. you got to explain this time clock and attendance, how it takes your temperature. This is going to blow everybody away.
Listen up, people.
Listen up, everybody. Tuvia, Steve, Hillary, check this out.
Yeah, so we have basically a 12-month exclusive right to a time clock device that we have with a software partner out of Houston, Texas. And basically what it does is it replaces the human element of recording temperatures at a gate or entryway to help try to keep the sites a little bit safer. But basically the device itself started about 5 years ago in the oil and gas industry and was really used as a security measure to protect people coming onto the site in a time clock capacity and security measure. And basically over the last about 3 months or so, we've actually worked with the team to really get it a little bit more tightened up to be more of a time clock / like COVID compliant device. So basically what it does is it's got a ton of different functionality, but it's got a built-in proxy card reader. It's got a facial recognition. And what's really unique with it is the way that it works is instead of going off of like your mouth or some of your eyes inflections, it actually reads off of your facial bone structure. And even with to the point where in the oil and gas, you think about these guys, right? They're completely hard hats, glasses, gloves, mask, the whole 9 yards. And we have seen it basically still test within 0.02% accuracy, with somebody fully gowned. So literally what it does is you come in, it has a plug-in to our HRIS and payroll platform. With that proxy badge, we can basically set it up, completely through an HR portal. Has one of the most open APIs, so we can actually build it out to work with ADP, Paychecks, different time and attendance systems. And then basically as your employees come in, there's different security measures. So, I mean, it goes into actually storing, temperature, time and attendance, check-ins, checkouts, and it all completely comes out to a reporting perspective. So, what we're all trying, I think, in our world, right, is trying to understand what everybody references as that new normal, right? So it's what we're trying to stay ahead and keep our clients and clients like you guys, your clients, right, ahead of the curve is in that compliance feature. Is it going to be the CDC guidelines as we start to really truly get back to 100% capacity in the offices? Are we going to see OSHA start taking more control of these things? And one of the biggest things I think all of us are looking at is who's going to be the person that starts to standard that all of us actually start getting measured up to. So what we're really introducing is this as a way for us to, every one of us is already using a time clock on a site, right? For the most part, especially high volume, accounts that we service on sites that we may manage. So those are prime time areas, right, for us, to really beta this, see how people and the feedback is. But we've put this in about 5 test markets so far. The feedback's been phenomenal. We patch certain things in the software almost every day, and that real time feedback has been super crucial for us to really start getting this thing cranking.
God,
Cutting edge, right there, Dave. I mean, seriously, there's nobody in the industry. What he just said today, nobody has it right now.
When I saw that, that's the thing. It was like, because the cost of having 3 to 4, I know what it cost when we did the company for the employees to sit there. I mean, you have to hire somebody, it was like $20-some an hour to scan all day long, yep. in and out, walk around the cafeteria, take the temperatures, everybody. That, and that you definitely reach out to Dan about is, I don't know. I was just blown away by it.
Yeah, man, it's really cool. And like, one of the things that we're hearing is, everybody gets a little bit weary of like what actually gets stored on the cloud, right? So, what's really neat is like there's settings in it to where, if we just needed to take temperature as somebody's coming through, as long as they pass, it automatically comes off, instantly. We're down to like a 0.6 seconds is in between each person. So, somebody coming through the door can reset, take another temperature in under a second. It's pretty crazy. So, we're just incredibly fortunate that we have some really strong tech partners, and you guys know some of the bigger pictures, of what we're trying to accomplish. I mean, we're really trying to get to that single sign-on, all-in-one software platform, that gives you everything at the access of your fingertips, so that you don't have to keep using 10 different, softwares to make your companies go round. This is just one piece of it.
Wow, that'll make it so easy, won't it, Dave?
I shake my head when I saw it, because I think of the customer.
Oh yeah.
I'm not thinking of myself. It's just, and it protects. Can you imagine how it protects us? Because that way, if they're all on assignment and they're, like he said, you don't know how it's going to be regulated. So in the new normal, like you said, as it goes on. So that means it's actually protecting everyone, the candidates, the company, and it's a safe, it's not like a sales pitch either. It's a tool that's going to help people.
Exactly. We're already using it, right? I mean, how many of our sites are, already integrated, to Kronos, Ceridian? It's already there. People are already using it, right? So, it's an added benefit that, we have the capabilities of interfacing it to a time and attendance piece, to really allow people to still stay true to the most important thing, right? Which is, getting people clocked in, clocked out, and accuracy behind, what they're actually working. So.
Richard, I know you have a couple questions. I know you're the staffing shark. There you go.
I mean, I'm amazed by that. Tell you what, Dan, since you work with so many different staffing firms, what's some other challenges that they're coming to you right now? Is there anything that's sticking out in your head that they're coming to and saying, this is what we need to change? Everything?
Yeah, no, I mean, I know that's a great question. And I think, to your point, we do see a wide variety of different things across the country on any given basis. The biggest things that I'm hearing right now is, two things. One, I think we all agree, candidate recruiting is still a challenge right now, right? Like we just had the extension of unemployment benefits, even though it got reduced, right? I'm still hearing all the, people are making more money sitting on a couch. They don't want to go to work, right? So, that's I think one of the biggest issues that all of us are trying to come up and figure out. Okay, right? We have confidence levels down here of being actually able to go back to work, right? And now we're also getting paid to stay at home. So how do we overcome that from a recruiting perspective? Well, that's a tricky one, right? So, there's a couple things that I think companies really need to be looking at. One, right, we got to make sure that we're incentivizing the right behavior in the recruiting world, right? So, there's a couple things we got to, at the same point, right? We as the staffing big company, we bear a lot of those burdens, right? Our clients make us feel like we fall short, but the reality is our clients need to also be being educated on the things that we need to be able to attract and get these people back to work, right? So, this is a time frame that we need to really make sure, Bureau of Labor statistic pay rates and things of that nature per market are in line. You can't underpay and then also expect people to be, an employer of choice per se, right? So I think it's super important that people are paying attention to, wage data, what's driving that in the market and that we're staying competitive, and also that also means like, you got to treat candidates like they're people, right? Like it's all about the candidate. So, at the end of the day, we're still in a very much candidate driven market. People need to remember that. The second thing is it really comes down to a lot of the tech, right? It's being able to interface. So where we're seeing the biggest results right now and being able to still truly be able to stay in front of the candidate is using a blended targeted marketing practice, right? So, if you're only using email, right, you're probably losing people. People aren't as connected as it used to be, right? I love what you guys are doing, starting to see, the social media, video interviews, those things are all crucial, especially, we're even interfacing the video piece into remote I-9 practices, right? And actually being able to utilize that. To be able to expedite and be able to continue to remote recruit, and then the third thing is it's texting. I mean, I think when you start seeing a blend of interviews, text messages, and video interviews, we're seeing like an 85% higher response rate from candidates in real time when you use those blended practices versus the old school phone call, email. People just aren't as receptive to that. And right now you just got to remember, right? Everybody in we have the largest talent population sitting in a candidate base than we've had in years. And then that's how we got to stay aggressive and make sure that once again we're keeping that candidate focused.
That's awesome. I'll tell you what, I want to say one thing real quick about Dan and the company alone. I mean, I was in Myrtle Beach this summer here doing jobs across America. Dan was busy on some work assignments. He took some time out of his evening to meet me for an hour, 2 hours to talk. Is that amazing? This is what it's all about with the staffing family. I'm telling you, he took time out of his day, coming down, met with me. We talked about staffing and everything, got to know each other. And, I still to this day, I was like, wow, that's what people need to do. We need to connect that way. It wasn't like him trying to sell me something or nothing. We're just getting to know each other.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you for that, Dan. I mean, you're part of my staffing family forever, man. That's something that I think that everybody out there needs to know, that this guy's for real.
Yeah, man, I super appreciate that. You know, I mean, like the thing is we always say it, like, you know, I when you do the right thing, right, and you take, you know, I think it's apparent, right? This is my life. This is my world, my passion. It has been for years. And you know, even when I meet people like you, you know, it's not about the check at the back end, right? It's all about just being the resource that you guys need us to be, and the results what come with it, right? So, you know, by putting a little bit of time, you know, my intellectual property and sharing that with you guys, and then watching you guys run with it, you generate the result. I'm just here to help, you know, kind of navigate and avoid some of the mistakes. You know,
I always say at the end, teamwork, right? It's all about teamwork.
I had one more question for myself, and I don't know why it just came to me now about, you know, when you said about the clients and the costs and the pay rates, is Dan, what I look at is like whatever, all the PPE protective equipment coming and all the masks, we know how expensive it is, that cost. Sure. Do you foresee sharing costs between staffing and the client, or you know what I mean? Because that is going to be, that's something. Because if a company came to me and said, well, you have to provide the mask, you have to provide this, that's where I'm trying to figure out, because that's what I've heard. Well, this is very expensive, and I don't know what to say sometimes.
No, I understand that completely, and I totally understand that. I mean, in a startup capacity, right? I mean, controlling costs is one of the most important things that we do. So, you know, in the OSHA world, though, there are certain things that us as the employer, we have to provide, right? And it's either us or our end user client, right? So a lot of times in our staffing world, light industrial, the most that we can mandate the candidate to provide for themselves is steel toes, right? And then pretty much everything else either defaults to us at the staffing client level or the end user client.
Right.
What I do see primarily across most of these markets, with the exception of what I'll say, like more of our construction trades, skilled trades, but more light industrial, a lot of that stuff is being provided by the clients, right? Vests, hard hats, vests, gloves, glasses, you know, earplugs, hair nets, beard nets, you know, those are things that they have to provide, you know, typically at site. So, you know, a lot of that asking for the client to provide that, or just ensuring through a worksite evaluation before you're accepting to staff at these sites, making sure that those things are in place are super crucial. Now, skilled trades, day labor type things, that's where I see the biggest need, or the thing where clients start to pass the buck off to the staffing customer. And we're really in that hard hats, gloves, glasses type. There's two ways that you can deal with that. What we do is at the client level, if they're asking for us to provide those, yes, we'll absolutely tack a premium. Maybe it's $1.50 on the hourly basis, right? There's one way to do it. The second is we'll typically provide the first set to the employee at no cost. However, if they lose it, they don't return it. If it's a specific item like that, then we'll typically have a PPE slip that's signed off on saying, you know, a replacement costs X amount of dollars. You know, the thing is once go back to incentivizing the right behavior, right? Every one of us understands the value of retention of an employee, right? And ultimately what that cost comes out when we actually have to replace, retrain, the whole 9 yards, right? So by incentivizing somebody to take ownership of the equipment, right, is a way for them to start taking ownership of the job. If it helps, I've seen it time and time again that my retention rates go up when I start making them own some accountability in this process at the candidate level. And then also, you know, there's obviously incentives for us to recoup some cost if they walk or abandon a job, and now they're off with, you know, $15-20 worth of equipment. So, you know, it's the same thing in my opinion with drug tests and background checks, right? I mean, drug test, background check, I have no problem covering it if you're going to truly work 40 hours for me. But if you're abandoning a job, walking off 2 hours after a shift, you're going to see that as a deduction out of your check from me or any of my partners for the most part.
See, yep.
See, that's why, Rich, we've said that a couple of times, and I learned that starting on a startup is I can't absorb all that cost.
No, you have to deduct it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's on my end, but I know, Rich, you always like to talk there, but Dan, I appreciate.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dave.
No, it's yours. I'm done. I'm
all right.
done.
Hey, Dan, I just want to thank you. I want to tell all the staffing firms out there across the world and the country that, you know what, you've just heard a little bit of this. expert what he knows in the business. I mean, this is amazing. Please pick his brain. I'm sure he'd love to have your emails and calls, man, because I tell you what, he's going to give you the honest truth, and he's going to give you the top knowledge of what's going on now. I mean, everything they're doing is way beyond other people, and it's amazing. So I just want to praise you for coming on. We do one thing at the end, Dan. I'm sure you stand in the show. What we're going to do after 3. You know what we're doing, right?
Let me see.
The 1, 2, 3, and we do shark. So
this is going to be good for him.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Shark! All right,
shark! Well, hey, it's been a pleasure. Like I said, once again, call Dan. He's there to help you, man. I'm sure he'll be on our show again sometime soon. True friend, Dan. After I met you, buddy, you know you're a friend for life, man. I'm definitely looking forward to working with you in the future, my man.
Yeah, man, no problem, man. I'll make sure next time I see you, I park in the right areas.
Oh, that's right. That's another story. We'll have to say this real quick. You want to elaborate, Dan? Go ahead, buddy.
Oh man, Dave, did he tell you this story? Me and him saw each other. We were literally together for like an hour to have a drink and dinner. Yeah. I didn't pay attention, parked in the wrong area, so my car ended up getting towed. Well, we walked back. Next thing I know, I end up having to get an Uber, go get in my car. They don't take debit cards. They only take cash. Well, the Uber left me. I ended up having to walk like a mile to an ATM to go get cash to get my car back. Next thing I know, like a 15-minute ordeal turned into a 2-hour endeavor. So
and it was so funny. We're walking back. I thought I'll just walk back with you because it was right down the Grand Strand. And he's like, my car's gone. And I'm thinking this is like a commercial. I'm like, maybe he's like playing with me, man, just to say like joke. He's like, my car's gone. I'm like, my.
Oh my! Well, I remember.
It was so funny.
But hey, stories like that, you made it home safe, and you can laugh about it now, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I also want to thanks Tuvia Hillary. I don't know who the LinkedIn user. Somebody said good morning.
Everybody was on today. Hey, thank you so much. And like I said, this is the expert. Reach out.
All right. Have a good day, everybody. And with Richard, you never know. Here we go.